Hi guys, have you ever been to a big exhibition and you get so fired up and inspired by the amazing artwork that you see by these master artists, but then you get home and the inspiration fades and you don't really know how to use what you've seen? That's happened to me quite a bit. So recently I went to a Matisse exhibition in Tokyo, and I thought rather than just forget about what I'd seen, I wanted to create some artworks inspired by Matisse. So join me as I talk about what actually fired me up and got me inspired by this exhibition. I look at some of the artworks and a book that I bought to follow up on that. And at the end of the video, I've got 3 exercises that I set for myself that help me incorporate some of the elements of Matisse into my own work. This is Sketching the World, and I'm Kat, a writer and artist from Australia, but my dream is to sketch the world. When I was at the exhibition, I really wanted to grab, they had a book there about his work and I wanted to grab it, but it was like big, thick book. I'm not sure if this is the same book or just a similar one, but yeah, like I didn't want to cart it home basically. It was too heavy. Like, you know, that would have doubled my luggage weight. So what I did was I popped onto Amazon and found this and ordered it, and it got delivered while I was away. So yeah, and it was a second-hand copy, so it ended up being a bit cheaper than what I would have paid at the exhibition. But you couldn't video in any of the areas of the exhibition, and you could only take photographs in a few parts. So yeah, I've got some photos. I did video myself sketching like while I was at the exhibition because I figured I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to video my own work. It was actually quite nice having all this area where people couldn't take photographs. It really makes you think about how annoying it is to go to an exhibition and everyone's trying to photograph the work. No one's actually looking at the work. People are, I really hate when people are taking photos and they start stepping back without looking behind them. And you have people knocking into you and that kind of thing. So yeah, this was just, went in and you were totally immersed in the exhibition. I love that this book has got the colour palette here. And I did find while I was looking at the exhibition, there were like the colour combination with this sort of green, and I would call it magenta, but that he used, not purple. But yeah, those two colours together and just the way they vibed, as the young people say, or the young people used to say a couple of years ago. Yeah, just the way those colours sort of popped against each other. And then adding in some red or this kind of maybe that really Matisse blue. Just here's an example of that colour combination, the green and the purple. I had remembered it as being much more magenta. Oh, this is Really nice colour combination. So anyway, yeah, while I was at the exhibition, I wrote a few notes on the back of my sketchbook, which is the heart. This is, I think, this picture here. This picture here. This was my favourite in the entire exhibition. Something about this I just really loved. I mean, I love heart shapes and I love the cutouts. The Nightmare of the White Elephant, I just love that for the title. It's like, oh, I wish I could come up with titles. Like when I do sketches, if I have to give them a title, it will be like picture of a lady, picture of a dog, the dog. And yeah, when you're Matisse, you have like the Nightmare of the White Elephant. So yeah, and then I just made notes about some of the things that circus, dancing, floating, curves, they were all big elements in his work. The green and magenta plus the blue, emotional colour and energy in line. They were the big takeaways for me. And so I want to start playing around with some of that. I mean, I could just do some cutouts like this. I feel I want to explore even further that sort of just, like I don't want to copy what another artist is doing. I want to use them as inspiration. That's what I mean. Hey, there was actually a whole section in my Matisse book about how the papers were created. He got his assistants to actually do the gouache layers on huge rolls of paper. Some of the assistants were a lot more meticulous about making the colour completely flat than others. So that's why there's a variety, like variations in his work. So yeah, I'm just painting these pages and then I'll use them as collage papers when they're dry and I can chop them up. I got these paints. If you saw my Tokyo haul video, these are the paints I swatched in that, and they were ones I bought to test out from this little art store and really didn't like them. So it's kind of good having art materials that you don't love, because it means that you can just do stuff like this with it. I've actually been thinking about doing a video where I get out, like I've got materials I don't like, but I've also got some stuff that I've just put away. Like, you know, I've got it, swatched it, sampled it, and then it's just ended up being put away. So one day when I can be bothered going through everything, it'd be good to get out all the art material junkyard and actually do some artwork with those materials. I should be putting my Matisse mug that I got at the exhibition in shot. Oh, I've got some paint on that. So yeah, one of the things I really loved about the Matisse exhibition was that he used gouache a lot. It's funny when you go to an exhibition, because like people don't use gouache. You go to galleries, you see real art, whatever, however you define that, like, you know, your Picassos or whatever in galleries, and it's always oils. Occasionally there might be like a watercolor or something, but yeah, Matisse, he was all about the gouache. This is going to be fun, doing the paper cutouts. Oh, except I have to glue them. I have issues with glue. I think I just have issues with things that need fine motor skills. I've also got a few other materials that I'll use. I've got these crayons. These are neocolors, and this one's a woody 3-in-1. So the blue, the pinky, purple, magenta, and then this green. It's not a green that I would like using normally, but feel inspired now because of the exhibition. And yeah, I might put some other colours through this. This blue's quite nice. And okay, so I'll leave it there and be back with part 2 shortly. By the way, if you've watched this far and you're enjoying my video, make sure you give it the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to my channel and you want to see more of my content, hit the subscribe button. And thanks for watching. There'll be a lot more coming up in this Matisse inspired art play. Thanks. So yeah, I had this great idea to do this Matisse inspired art exercise thing, but then I just got really overwhelmed. It's like, yeah, I want to be inspired by Matisse, but do it stuff in my own style, and that's a really big ask. So I started simply just by using a Matisse inspired color palette, doing some of the plants near my art desk, and then moving on to this picture of a door. And yeah, not doing anything else Matisse like except for the colors that I used. Some of them I picked out earlier in this video, and then a few I added in myself, needing more variety. It's so much fun creating art in these really bright colours. I really love colours that just sort of pop and clash a bit with each other. So yeah, perfect colour palette for me. So the second exercise I set myself was to create some scenes, just completely flattening the shapes, taking out all perspective and just trying to work with block shapes. I found this incredibly hard to do. I just kind of have this need to add texture to things and patterns. I had this picture I'd done on location in Japan, and I did it once, did one version of it, then tried for a second version. I kind of feel like a city scene that doesn't have organic shapes though gets a bit boring when you flatten it like this, so I tried to do something with a bit more of organic shape in it, still a bit flat. I don't know, it's something that doesn't come naturally to me, and I probably need to work on. The finished results, I think, aren't that interesting. I feel like maybe I should have tried this with the plants that I used in the first exercise and redone that in the flat shapes. That could have been more interesting, having that more organic shape. For these cutouts, I was thinking about using some of the stuff I'd done in life drawing classes as a starting point. So with this one, I've already started to break it down into shapes. I really like this leg shape and also the hand. So yeah, maybe stylizing them and using some cutouts to get that looking Matisse. So I'm not sure where to put this. I'll put it there. Not sure if that's going to stay up. No. Okay, I'll just go and get my scissors and glue. Be right back. I had no idea what I was doing here, which shapes I should be cutting out first, or like how I should be doing the proportions or anything like that. So I basically just started with the head and went from there, and then tried to correct it as I went along. Not sure if that's the best way, but it was the way I used. Okay, I've just cut out this whole leg shape and then realized I've done it backwards. It's meant to go that way. So what I'm thinking of doing is, instead of recutting it, because I really like how I've cut this, I really like the lines that I've cut, is just painting the back of it and using the back instead. Oops, I have to be a bit more careful about that. Okay, I'm going to try again with another one of my life drawing sketches. I really love this. If you saw my vlog from last month, you would see part of me drawing this. We had this awesome model, and yeah, she was posing with the lemons. This was top down, obviously, and she's got the lemons through her hair and everywhere. So I thought this would be great to do as a paper cutout collage. So let's go. To be honest, I had a lot of resistance to doing these cutouts. I created the papers and everything earlier and then just left them sitting there and kept thinking, oh, I should do that, but never did. I think part of that is because, as I said, I have an issue with glue. And also because it's such a messy process and I didn't want to do it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really glad I did because I had so much fun. I felt I learned a lot more doing this than the other two exercises. Really getting just down to the very basic shapes, the very flat colour. I mean, flat as in flat tone, but very bright, very in your face, pops of colour. Everything's bright, everything's fun, everything's hopefully dancing. So yeah, then I decided to try that one from exercise 2, that picture again, trying to get it a bit more organic and a bit more flowing. I found it easier to do that with the cutouts rather than just drawing in the shapes, maybe because I had all these scraps of paper sitting around that I could use. I did use some crayon to add colour in this picture. The main reason for that was that I didn't want to cut out tiny little red circles and try to glue them in, so it was a bit of a cheat, but it works. So anyway, this is how I was inspired by Matisse, and hopefully you'll be inspired too. Thanks for watching.